look down there, it looks interesting, look. Oh, g'day there. Today we're out in the middle of, if you just pan around a little bit, you'll see we're in the middle of, there's nothing in any direction for 30 kilometres.
Yeah.
And we've just come up here,
Yeah.
and I was just pointing out that this animal path here, so it looks like kangaroos, the footprints about this long. So we're going to follow them up here, and hopefully we might find some animal wildlife to film or something up there. So let's go and have a look. So we're following this path, which I pointed out to you, this animal path, and here is clear evidence that we're on the right path. Just here you find a bit of animal poo, and this is clear evidence that we are on the right path. So we'll continue up that way.
Do you want to smell it? See if it's...
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So as we continue up our path, what I think with animals is that when they go out at night time, they're not sure how to get home. All the way down the path, they just have poo all the way. So it's clear that they know how to find their way home, because they just like leave. We call on maps you call them breadcrumb trails, but they actually call them poop trails. So I'll just follow a poop trail, and we'll find out what does it. When you go travelling, there's some things you must always take when you get older. You drive along through Aboriginal lands, remote places. There's one thing you always got to stop and have a survival, and I'll show you what it is. That's a bloody thermos. An Australian made thermos. When I was young, I used to look at old people on the side of the road having a thermos, and I said, gee, I don't think I'll ever be like that. And today, here we are, a vital piece of equipment when travelling in the outback, a thermos. Thank you very much.
You've got a stick there?
Yes, well, people that are unskilled in the bush would use a spoon, but I use a stick. It takes a lot of talent to use a stick, and but it's a bit of bushman's craft. If you don't have a spoon, you use a stick. And not that many people would know that or work that out, but it's fabulous, great invention. Just here you can see where we are. Camel footprints. Two toes, two toes, two toes. If you follow me down here,
Yeah.
camel footprints. He must have eaten some pretty rough grass because he's had a bit of trouble with his back end. But he's definitely been through here.
Right.
Now I'll give you a tip at night time when you're in the outback. There are places to go to the toilet and places not to go to the toilet. And I'll tell you a story. I went out one night and it was so windy I fell backwards and I had some serious injury. And while I was there, I didn't realise that when I fell backwards that I fell on one of these. And all the critters came out and made short work of me. So they're the things you have to watch out for in the dark. You know, there's been many people die in the outback. And the knowledge of bush tucker is absolutely important out here. No food, you're just not going to last very long, but this is a perfect tree. This is called a Scots tree, and it has bush tucker. And if you just come over here with your camera,
Yeah.
this way,
Yeah.
I'll show you. This is true bush tucker off the Scots finger tree, off the Scots tree. This is what will keep you alive when you're in the outback. G'day there. You know, when you're travelling in remote areas, I thought I'd give you a few tips for travelling. Often when you're in remote areas you kind of think, well, what's the time of day? And there are techniques in the bush for telling what the time of day is. And I'm going to show you one of those techniques now. If ever you're lost in the bush, you'll know what time it is. First thing you've got to do is get a stick. Probably something about that size. And you move close to a tree. The stick's just to make sure there's no cobwebs there. You don't want those. And when you look around, you look in the shade, you're completely in the shade, and nothing's going to reflect on glass and that. What you do is you just look at your watch and see what time it is, and it's presently 11 o'clock. And that's how you tell what time it is in the bush. Well, it's late in the afternoon, you're out remote and you feel like you're lost. As you can see behind me, there's nothing for miles and miles and miles. But when you're in the wilderness, just you've got to learn to remember that there is a way to always find your way back home. And all you need is one of these here.